Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I had to mute the stream.
Yeah. It starts to get the double input there.
Oh yeah,
Um, all right. Welcome to the stream. Can you
well
remind
thanks
me?
for.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just was gonna say thanks for having me.
Excellent. What is your preferred alias? Do you go by Crychair or Can't Evan or?
Uh, I've been debating. um, Crychair's fine for now.
All
That's what
right.
all my itch stuff is.
Yeah. Okay. So for sake of consistency, do you think I should download the game or is the browser version all right?
I think it should be all right. It ran, I guess, much better than previous WebGL things. Your call though.
All right. I'll give the WebGL version a try. Yeah. There's the Sleepy Donut game logo that I recognize now. But
Yeah.
yeah. So, if we'll go ahead and get started with our first question here, which is, how did you decide on what you're going to make for the jam?
So normally this is people that I've worked with on a couple jams. So I guess for the first, hour or two, we always just sit and whiteboard, and for some reason we always end up with like an arcade type game. So that's where we ended up. Um, is it loud?
It was a little bit, but that's always just because. Whoa, okay. I'm thinking that I need to read the instructions on how to play this game.
Yeah, I can explain it as you go if you don't want to read it. So you are the parasite there,
Mhm.
and so you have two tethers, and I couldn't update the in-game how to play because we kind of like made this a little more clear after the deadline. But yeah, it's WASD to move.
Mhm.
You have a tether on each mouse button,
Mhm.
and you will heal over time as you're tethered individually for each tether. So you'll
Mhm.
get like double healing if both are connected, and then you'll take damage over time if you are not connected on
Mhm.
either. So kind of like, and there's a max range on the tethers too. Like they'll break if you get too far away. So you kind of have to gauge your distance there. I think it definitely needs some bouncing because we were definitely running out of time at the end. But and then you obviously, yeah, you take damage when you hit something. I guess I didn't say, but that's video game logic, pretty standard.
What is the? Oh, enemy slow zone. Okay.
Yeah, I just we didn't know how to explain that quickly, so yeah, text on the screen. And then the little flashing areas are actually the spawn points, just to kind of give you like a warning that they might appear out of nowhere.
What's a good high score for this game?
I think I've seen someone get 48,000, which I'm nowhere close. I think my top score is like 28,000, and I
Oh.
think on average people get, yeah, between probably like 5,000 is like a normal good score for somebody, but like people definitely have been sending me like 20K or something, and it's
That's
definitely
crazy.
probably a little too hard, but um,
All right, I gotta do a better job here. Burrito Claire mentions there's only one criticism. You should have called it Parasite.
hair. Oh, so you know what? We did the tethers at like an hour left. We added
Hmm.
that second tether. Cause like at first we were like, huh, like this isn't really, I guess, as fun. We were trying to make it more fun, like, cause it
Hmm.
was kind of like a little, it was a little boring at first. So we were like trying to think of ideas, and we had plans to do more power ups and stuff like that. Um, and the field's pretty big, so you can utilize like the outer edge of the field more. I think might help you. Like staying in the middle, I think really screws you.
Get half swarmed.
Yeah, because they are, all the spawn points are pretty spread out around the circumference, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a petri dish
Yeah.
type.
Oh
Yeah.
my
All right.
god, you get swarmed and killed so quickly.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, you do. Maybe I should have had them do less damage or something. If you can sort of escape if you like mash the tether, because it does have some physics. So if you can like hit them with the tether and they'll get pushed.
I think
But
another thing you could have done, rather than just decreasing the damage, what you could have also made it so that if you get hit, you get knocked back pretty far, so you don't get
yeah, we were trying to avoid physics on the player, only like for like control's sake, right? But yeah, I mean, definitely an option. So maybe we'll look at that. I'll probably do a post jam update, like a small one, just because we had plans to do power ups for each enemy. Like the blue enemy is what's doing that slow area, and we had like different ideas for each one. But we obviously didn't get there. We were trying to think of like a Pac-Man type upgrade too, so you could go on the offensive. But yeah, I sort of ran out of time there.
All right. Well, I'm going to do my best to get something of a decent high score here. But we'll move on to our next question, which is, what was your development process like for this game?
Honestly, this was probably like the maybe worst timing I had. My friend on the Friday of, so I lost all of Friday except for planning the idea, because it was my friend's 30th birthday, and he decided to have his impromptu wedding at the birthday party without telling anyone.
Oh my goodness.
So I like almost didn't go, and then he like told us like, hey, you have to come, like.
Oh boy.
So, and it's like 2.5 hours away, so I spent all of Friday not really doing anything. But then we had a pretty good small team that we worked together a couple times, so I think it was pretty seamless. The only like big changes we did was using Fmod over the Unity audio. So two, another thing for you is you only get the points if you fully kill them. Okay. So like when they go gray is when you get the points. Just FYI.
Right. Oh, and their bodies still have collision even after they die.
Oh yeah. I was like hoping, the idea with that, which I don't think ended up really working, is you're building your own level, sort of. Like our first idea for this game was to have like you're in like veins or something like that. Yeah, we kind of scratched that.
All right. So was there anything else you wanted to talk about with the development process, or should I move on to the next question?
Yeah, whatever you want. Move on if you want.
The text in the background. Yeah, we addressed. Oh, I died. I looked away for 2 seconds and I think I ran out of health because I wasn't tethered to anything.
Yeah. That you die pretty fast if you aren't tethered.
Oh, there is. This is the only problem with playing with the web browser full screen, is that you can't hit escape to open a pause menu, because escape forces you out of full screen.
I don't have a pause menu. That was another thing I scratched at. Like, I was like, okay, I don't have enough time to like implement enemy movement pause, you know. So we just scratched it.
No, yeah, I knew that there wasn't actually a pause menu. It's a general problem that I've seen in a few games,
like,
that you can't pause without
background. Yeah, like it won't run in the background type thing. You're thinking. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like this is definitely the kind of game that demands 100% of your focus. So it's the kind of thing that you have to like. If I'm going to dedicate any attention to chat, I have to like look away from the screen, which pretty much means instantly
Yeah. Oh
dying. But
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think I'm going to be setting any high scores here. You know, chat. If
I
anyone
mean,
is
68,000. That's respectable. Or sorry, 6,800. Respectable.
yeah, I'll take your word for it. If anyone, I'll post the link to this game in chat as well once it's over, and maybe people can let me know if they get a higher score than I did. I already posted it at the beginning, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll be happy to repost it as often as necessary. But yeah, so I guess we'll move on to our next question. And if anyone's been following the stream for the last few days, you'll notice that I slightly modified the questions that I've been asking. So this one is now, can you recommend a useful shortcut or clever hack in this engine that might be useful to others?
So I'm using Unity, and I guess I downloaded an asset to do soft body physics.
Oh my god,
So
nothing's spawned.
Huh.
I wonder if I think I broke it.
I'm proud of you.
Is this the second time that I've tried a game of yours and just managed to find a bug that's like 0%
I mean,
reproducibility?
at least the last one was was a game that I had been actively updating.
Mhm.
This one is, not. I'm not as embarrassed by it. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Was it when you like tabbed out?
I did tab out. I also like hadn't. I didn't even engage. I just like let myself die immediately. So, well, we caught it on stream, so we'll be able to maybe
Yeah,
look at
maybe
the
letting
VOD.
yourself die. I'm trying to think because I have the spawners do like an on enable, just reset themselves type thing. But all right, well, I'll let you like focus on a round, and I'll talk about Unity.
Yeah, you were mentioning the soft body physics.
So you can't really tell because I kind of had to tone them down because they were going fairly haywire with like all the little physics interactions. So, but like you can sort of see them like when the tether hits the enemies, they'll deform a little bit, and that's just like not something I'm ever gonna write for a game jam. Like, and I'm sure I could get maybe something basic working, but I did download like an asset off the asset store, and there's like just a ton of stuff on the Unity one that is like super easy just to download and utilize normally very quickly, like obviously depending on the asset, but
yeah.
And also like even just stuff on GitHub, like there's a ton of stuff marked as Unity on GitHub that you can just download for free without even bothering with the asset store, and it's all free and there's a ton of it.
Nice.
I think my favorite one is the Prime 31 character controller, and that is like the best 2D character controller I've ever seen.
So what in your opinion makes it the best one?
I mean, obviously I didn't use it for this because it's like a side-scrolling character controller, but they just have very good raycast setup. So I mean, like, I think that's like normal for a good character controllers. It's all raycasting, and then on top of that, it has very good like ramp detection. So you will. I'm like watching you play and getting distracted.
Now you know how I feel.
It has very good like detection of slopes, so you can actually really run up slopes and down them and mark them as too steep or something. So anyway,
Can you post your link in
that
chat?
one's I let me find it.
Sure.
That one's what's all right here. We got another question. All right.
Yes, we do.
What was the most polished part of the game? All of it could benefit from more polish. I don't know. What's the most polished part? Probably the VFX really helped with the I think the health bar. That was like a fun thing to make. that I hadn't really done before. So that's actually like a shader doing the health bar with a like percentage that I'm feeding in for the health. That's actually controlling. Got swarmed there. And then the artist actually took a good hand at doing like the particle effects. So every like VFX he did in Unity's particle system. And whereas like normally as the programmer, I'm the only one touching Unity. So I think that helped a lot just to have another person kind of minimally starting that work of VFX. Hey, and Alcy, who just responded, is the artist.
Thanks. So just one small bit of feedback that I would have here is you mentioned the soft body physics in the game, and I noticed it on these guys slightly. Like there's a little bit of deformation. I think with the way that the camera is moving so significantly, you could stand to punch that up significantly, like to the point where it looks. Yep.
Sorry, I was gonna say I did have it like much higher at first, but I kept having issues where the character would deform, but I'm not using the soft body physics as the collider for the tether. They're like different colliders on different layers. So, and I guess I'm also I was trying to add in collision between the enemies at some point and kind of gave up on that. So I had to implement some weird case where I think it's like every 5 seconds or something, the enemies actually check how many there are in a small area around them. And if there are too many, they have like a certain percentage to just destroy themselves. Because if you play this game and you just run, they start to stack up just because of how they're chasing you. They're not smart. So you can kind of see it, but I think it's sort of hidden, right? But, if you pay attention, you can totally just see enemies randomly disappear. But there was one right there.
I think that actually happened to me. Like I was tethered to an enemy that disappeared, and I was going to ask if that was something you'd observed before.
Yeah, so that was again like something I added last minute, and like not checking if the tethered one is just an oversight on my part.
I'm also noticing like one thing that's a little bit punishing is the fact that you can get sort of like surrounded by enemies, and then you can start hitting these walls without the enemies themselves being affected by it. Like these enemies are going to go like right through these dead cells here, but I'm going to collide with them.
Oh, the dead one. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I thought you meant like the outer area. But yeah, I think one of the strategies which maybe we just don't explain to is that I feel like you need to go for that slow, the blue guys, like that you have to prioritize. And I guess that wasn't the goal at first when we started. It was really to get power-ups for each one. But time.
Yeah.
Also, if you end up doing both tethers, you will heal up. Not super fast, but enough.
Yeah, that's definitely would have been. I've been trying to keep 2 tethers going the whole time. It's just between the left and the right mouse click, I don't always remember which tether I have on which mouse button.
Gotcha. Yeah, darker is right, I guess, for everybody else. I did notice a weird thing. So there is one difference that I noticed between the WebGL and the Windows version, is that for some reason that shader on the tether is broken in WebGL. It actually is supposed to pulsate, but for some reason WebGL it doesn't work, and I'm not really sure why, because the shader's obviously there because it's getting the texture and everything, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I also had a fun bug that I'm happy I figured out, where the a shader just wasn't added to the Windows build at all
Mhm.
in Unity. Oh,
Yeah,
there
I
you
got
go
swarmed.
though. Look at 16K. That's
Mhm.
good.
All
That
right.
was a good run though.
um,
That's probably about where I max out, is right around where you are. Like the guy I've only seen one person get like above 20K, and it's like I I don't know.
everyone in chat was saying like, "Oh, this is the run. Here we go." And
Yeah,
then it's like,
yeah.
no, no. I think I died as those comments were coming in. It's like, oh, instant disappointment.
You got spooked. Yeah.
I didn't even see them. I just like I died, and then I looked over at chat and I saw people getting hyped. And I was like, oh
Uh,
well, no, I think they're gonna imminent disappointment here. um, all right. So do you have any plans for the game going forward?
I think we'll probably just do some minor updates to maybe help it out a bit, right?
Mhm.
Like I was actually about to upload a Mac build, but I missed the deadline actually. So I'll do that minimally, and then probably maybe like implement the other things we were thinking about with power ups, but probably just some like basic bug fixes, like what I said before with that tether check on the delete, and you know,
You know, I
basic things.
just noticed that there's actually these little like health indicators on the enemies that indicate like how much health they have and how much you're draining them.
Yep, yeah, yeah. That we were like gonna not even have a health bar on the player at first too. Like he has the same thing, but I turned it
Mhm.
off because it was definitely too hard to kind of see it and tell the player that that's what it was.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that health bar was a last hour or like a last couple hours thing as well. But it is the same exact shader. You know, I just set points.
Mhm.
So the same shader as the health bar is what's on those enemies. Is it just has like 3 set points. That's like because they have 3 health. It's 3 ticks of the tether is the way it's programmed. Um,
I think I've triggered a
but
slightly less intense version of the bug that I caught up earlier because I see this blinking red spot here hasn't spawned in enemies, and I'm getting much less swarmed on this run in general.
yeah, yeah, maybe there's some reset bug on the spawners. I will admit I haven't tested fully, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess it's just one more thing for the pile. We've got another
Yeah,
question
right.
coming in from Burrito Eclair. If you can take a look at that, because I don't want to
Yeah.
lose out on this run where
No,
I
I'll
artificially have a
read
good
it.
chance.
Alright, so he asks, how far did this game deviate from the original vision? You said there were a few things added and removed. Yeah, so the original, I think, sketch that Alcy did, he tries to design some of this stuff in a way that he won't, you know, be stuck animating for days. So our first envision was parasites in like jets, like just to give them like you know, no feet to animate, or no, you know, uh I guess like real bodies. You know, we just have a jet and we can flip it back and forth, you know, move them around. But that was like a little too far out from the parasite aesthetic, I thought. So we ended up switching to kind of these cells, and then I added the soft body movement, and obviously some stuff fell to the wayside, like power ups. You know, we only included the slow area. Um, what else? We ended up changing the health bar system, like I mentioned before. So like that 3 little lines on the player was supposed to be your health at first, but it was too. I think it was one. It was too small, like 3 hits and you're dead type of thing. And
Yeah.
I don't think it really got across the taking damage over time when you're not tethered, and then healing when you are. It just didn't help with that. So Alcy made this quick, you know, UI on Sunday. Um, what else?
I
Uh,
guess one other small thing that I just want to point out now is it would be great to know just how many points you're earning from killing each enemy? Like, do they have different point
Uh,
values?
no, they don't actually. It is a flat 200 for each enemy, is the way it's coded. But yeah, we do not have a counter for you to see that. Um, but yeah, maybe that's another thing the ad will, have a little score indicator with like a plus every time you kill something. That could be good. Oh yeah, so the second tether too, that was the end, yeah. So like, yeah, maybe like an hour and a half before 2 p.m. EST for the jam, we added this second tether. So
Mm.
Alcy like quickly recolored the texture. Oh, getting better though. Look at this.
Yeah, and that was with the decreased spawns, where I actually had the opposite problems. That it felt like I don't think I got hit by very much there, but I just went so long without being tethered to at least one thing that
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
ended up dying. So, I mean, that felt like a much more chill version of the game. It'd actually be. I would actually suggest making the beginning of the game play a little bit more like that, which looked like, I
Yeah,
don't know, one
some sort
third to
of
one
ramp
half of
up.
the enemy spawns.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good too. I think it ends up being too hard too quick, I think. Um, once you're past that first 10 seconds, I think it gets hard fast.
Yeah.
Get what we were saying. Oh yeah, Alcy was mentioning that we added in the second tether like an hour and a half before the game jam ended. So I think that really helps the game though. I think we almost did unlimited, honestly, but I didn't know how to balance that.
Yeah, because each enemy that you hit freezes them in place. So if you have unlimited tethers, you can basically just keep on
Yeah,
sending those out.
exactly. Um, but yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that we changed last minute, but that tether thing was a big thing, and the health bar was a big thing.
All right, so refresh the page. Got a full-on enemy spawns
Get
this time.
hard mode.
Hard mode. But yeah, we're gonna go on to our next question. Oh my god, hard mode, is it ever hard? But yeah, I guess you were already talking a little bit about what you wanted to make any changes to. And if there are any other questions in from the chat, now the time to send them. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about what you wanted to do with the game going forward, or should we move on to our last question?
Oh yeah, let's move on. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go past basic updates with this right now.
Yeah.
And that's normally what we end up doing with these
Game
kind
Jam
of like
projects.
arcade game jam games,
Yeah.
like there's only, I guess in my head, there's only so far we can take them.
All right. So the last question would be, well, it's not so much a question as it is just an opportunity for any shout outs or any other projects you want to mention that you're working on.
Yeah, I guess only because it happens to be today. I'm actually doing another dev interview for Asterisk with what's his name again? Sorry, Lane. And I'll send the link if anybody's interested.
Absolutely. Please do.
And I will also send that character controller only because it sticks in my mind so much that I pulled that one out.
Yes, thank you. Oh my god. Gets so swarmed so quickly.
So Twin Cities game dev is who is hosting the kind of like, I guess it's like a playtest event where they will get devs to come like host their games, and then they actually have the chat log in on Parsec if they want to play it live.
Nice.
So that Discord link is for Twin Cities game dev channel.
Oh, no, 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 no. You can get kind of like stuck on an enemy as it's hitting you.
Yeah, so the way out of that, which I figured out, is just to spam the click
Spam
against
it.
them
Yeah.
to knock them away.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's definitely definitely Unity physics, not raycasting.
Yeah.
So
All right, chat. 16,800. I don't think I've made an impossible target for you to beat. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it there for this one, and we're gonna move on to our next game, which this was the one that was decided by the random roll, as submitted by Strujan, which was Spacebar, right? So yeah, we'll figure out who's also next in the queue after that. But yeah, so Crychair, thank you so much for joining me on the call and for talking about your game.
yeah, thanks for having me. See you
All
next
right,
time.
next time. Bye bye.